Hi, I'm Shuhei Tsuda from Kobe University. Today, I would like to talk about dance practice system that showed what it would look like if you could master the dance. First, let me show you a brief demonstration video. In this research, we used deep learning to create a deep fake video of learners dancing well. Our hypothesis is that if the learners try to learn the dance using these deep fake videos, they will learn it faster. Our study tries to verify the hypothesis. So I'll explain about the background. Many studies have been proposed to support the acquisition of dance movements. A wide variety of practice methods have been proposed, ranging from mirror-enhanced methods to methods via the senses such as haptics and auditory to methods using robots. In a previous study, Fujimoto proposed a method of presenting a video of oneself dancing well. By taking the same pose as a reference for each frame, saving it, and connecting it frame by frame, the user can create a video that makes it seem as if he or she is dancing well and can practice while watching the video. This method to improve movements by presenting one's ideal movement is called video self-modeling, and it has been used extensively for everything from rehabilitation to learning movement skills and has been reported to be potentially effective. However, the problem with the video self-modeling is that generating the ideal motion video is tedious and time-consuming. For example, in the related research mentioned earlier, it is necessary to post it frame by frame and then save it. For simple movements such as rehabilitation, it is somewhat easy to edit, for example, by simply inverting the video. But for complex movements such as dance, it is very time-consuming to create one's own ideal movements by using common video editing software. Here, we focused on the video generation method that uses deep learning. Using the Everybody Dance Now method, we can extract motions from a reference video and replace them with the user's own appearance. Then we thought that applying this technique to the video self-modeling method would be useful for learning more complex movements, such as dance moves. The purpose of this research is to support dance learning by using deep learning technology to create a video of a person who has mastered dancing and then promote practices by the learners while they watch the video. So I'll explain about the proposed method. We created a reference video by utilizing the library used in the Everybody Dance Now paper. I'll briefly explain the process flow. Firstly, the system uses the user's own dance video as an input video. Then the system extracts the skeletal image from the input video and trains a model that reconstructs the original video from the skeletal information. The system then compares the restored video with the input video and processes the learning to eliminate the differences. Next, the system extracts skeletal information from a reference dance video that the users want to run. By using the learned model, the system will be able to output a deepfake video of the users dancing the same movement as the dancer in the reference video to improve the quality of the output video. We investigated what kind of input and reference video would be best for users to learn. So I'll explain the preliminary investigation. We investigated two things. One is the types of movements of input videos. The other is characteristics of the movement of the reference video. As a preliminary investigation, we first focused on the type of input video movement. In fact, we compared the same movement patterns as those in the reference video with free movement patterns. Then we found that the quality of the output video was more stable. For example, hands had not disappeared when inputting the video with the same movements as the reference video. Next, we examined the characteristics of the movements in the reference video. As a result, we found that the arm disappeared when rotating and the standing position shifted when up and down movements were included. We also found the depth of a movement was not well expressed when moving back and forth, possibly due to the open pores. Therefore, we conducted an evaluation experiment using the choreography that did not include these movements. So let me explain the user study. We conducted a user study to verify whether watching videos of themselves performing an expert dancer's movements teaches movement skills effectively. Participants learned 3 dance movements trimmed from videos in the AIST dance video database for use as reference videos. The 3 dances were divided into 3 levels of difficulty. The participants were 20 university students in their 20s, 90 males and 1 females. Their dance experience was limited to junior high school and high school classes and group dance performances at school events, such as school festivals. The user study was conducted in a studio with a wooden floor set up in our university. We conducted the user study using 20 participants into 2 groups. A deepfake video presidential group presented with a deepfake video of the participants dancing, and the original video presentation group presented with one of the experts dancing. Specifically, we adopted the 3 dance movements shown here. Based on the knowledge obtained through the preliminary investigations to improve the quality of the generated deepfake videos, we selected dance movements on the plane perpendicular to the direction of the camera shooting, with few depths up and down, no looking backward, and no quick and complicated movements. Okay. In the original video presentation group, participants were shown an expert dance video and asked to practice. As you can see, the experimental environment is the same as almost a normal practice. Participants were then asked to practice at a distance of about 3 meters from the display showing the reference video. The reference video is shown on the right side, and the real-time participant video is shown on the left side. The left side is an alternative for a mirror. The deepfake video presentation group, the setting is almost the same, but participants are shown a deepfake video of the participants dancing the same movement as the dancer in the expert dance video. Let me explain the experimental procedure. First, on the first day, we set a 5 minutes preliminary practice period as a pre-training session. After that, we asked participants to dance 3 times as a test. At this time, the deepfake video presentation group used the video from the pre-training session's dance to learn the model. On the second day, in the original video group, the participants practiced with the original reference video, and in the deepfake video presentation group, the system created a video of participants dancing using the model created on the first day, and they practiced while watching it. Then, as on the first day, they danced 3 times as a test. On the third day, there was no practice and only a test was conducted. We then scored them and drew a learning curve based on the video of the 3-day test. Next, I'll explain how we conducted the scoring. Let me explain evaluation index. First, we extracted skeletal information from the video at the test using open ports. Next, all the skeletal data was converted into unit vectors, and these were connected for all frames to make a feature vector. Since we got 3 dance moves through the test, the feature vector were calculated for the other 2 videos as well. Also, the reference video was calculated in the same way. We then calculate the DTW distance between each feature vector, and the lowest value was used as the score. I'll explain the questionnaire. The participants were made to answer a questionnaire rating the difficulty of learning each dance movement on a 7-point scale. To determine the participants' self-efficacy, they were asked the opinion of the statement, "I think I can learn to dance if I keep practicing," for each dance movement on a 5-point Likert scale. To know the participants' sense of accomplishment, they were asked to evaluate the statement, "I could master the dance," for each dance movement on a 5-point Likert scale. We also provided an open writing column for other comments on the user study, and the participants were asked to answer there. Moreover, only the deepfake video presentation group was asked to answer the statement, "I felt as if I were dancing," for each dance movement on a 5-point Likert scale. In addition, we asked the participant to respond an open description questionnaire for comments on their experiences when they viewed the deepfake video. Let me show you the results. I'll show you the results of 3-day experiment on 1 participant. Okay, sorry. This is the learning curve of all participants. The vertical axis shows the average DTW cost. The horizontal axis shows the experimental date. Unfortunately, there was no significant difference between the groups. Here, let me now look at the results of the survey. We asked the 10 people who viewed the deepfake video about whether they felt as if they were dancing. It showed that the responses varied, with some participants saying that they did not feel as if it was them dancing while watching the generated images. Typical comments included, "The body of the deepfake is too small. Sometimes I could not see the tools," or "I felt that the direction of the face was not natural," and similar statements. Video self-modeling is based on the premise of creating the illusion that oneself is performing the movements. Therefore, we examine the learning curves of the 3 members who scored 5 about all questions, and 1 member who scored 1 about all separately. These graphs show the average DW cost per participant based on the responses. The graph showed that the participants who did not feel as if they were dancing did not learn well, while the other 3 participants who gave high ratings tended to learn relatively well. However, since the number of participants who showed this tendency was small, we needed to investigate this point further. Next, when we asked about the level of difficulty of acquiring a dance and whether they thought they would be able to master the dance if they continued to practice, the deepfake video group tended to have lower self-efficacy. It showed that the more difficult the learner perceives the dance movements to be, the weaker the feeling of reality that they are actually dancing in the video. This may be because if the dance level to be learned is too far away from the learner's own skill level, the learners may think that they cannot learn the dance when watching a deepfake video of themselves with high-level dances. We needed to conduct more research on this issue. Finally, let's look at the comments from participants. We received many positive comments, such as I was able to see myself dancing, so it was easy to know how to move. In the reference video, I cannot understand what kind of movement the dancer was doing. In the deepfake video, the complex movements seemed to be a little easier. I thought I was able to notice more differences between my movements and the dancer in the pre-training. I felt that it was easier to compare the movements of each part of the body because the deepfake has the same body shape. These comments indicate the ability of the deepfake video in improving the understanding of movements. We also received other positive comments, such as it was a strange feeling because it was a video of myself doing a movement that I should not have been able to do, but it was easy to visualize the movement in my brain. I was moving my body thinking that I was dancing like in the deepfake video. Sometimes I looked at the mirror image of myself and compared it with the deepfake, and I noticed the points where I was not moving well. The comments indicate the possibility of supporting the movement. In addition, we received comments such as my motivation went up because I could see myself getting better. It was interesting to see a video of myself dancing perfectly because it felt strange. I was not motivated by the fact that I could see how well I was doing. I could see myself dancing well in the video, so I enjoyed practicing with the illusion that I was dancing well. These comments indicate the ability of deepfake to increase learner motivation. Negative comments, on the other hand, included some background noises in the deepfake video conflicting with the reference video, resulted in me not understanding some details of the movements. In the video of dance 1, it was difficult to figure out which foot was in front of another one. If the dance movements contain difficult parts, even if using a deepfake video, it was difficult to imagine it. The quality of the image was not very good, so it was difficult to see the detailed movements of the fingers. Most of these comments were related to the low image quality generation. Discussion about the low quality of the generated video, we needed to develop a system with higher quality images that remove the unnatural images as required. Regarding the learning target, we need further investigation about the role of dancing difficulty levels. We also should use a relatively large display to reduce the error rate. Summary, we proposed a learning method that uses deep learning to generate and present a deepfake video that performs the same movements as those of a dancer in a reference video. We tested whether the deepfake videos generated automatically are effective for dance learning. The experimental results showed that there was no significant difference between the presentation groups. As an extension of this research, we hope to develop a skill morphing technology. For example, even if we take the movements on an expert dancer and change them to our own images, the skill gap between experts and novices still exists. So in this case, I think we might not get good effects from the system. Therefore, we think that by generating and presenting dance movements of an intermediate level between novices and experts, we can practice while referring to dance movements that are one step ahead of our own dance level. And as a result, we can practice more efficiently. Now we will try to develop a system like this. So that's all my presentation. Thank you.